Good morning or good afternoon or good evening, wherever you're at or when you're watching this. I wanted to come on here and do a video about the war in heaven with angels. You may have heard of it, maybe you haven't. And before we get started, my name is Lisa Gober of Lisa Gober Body and Soul. I am a psychic medium and I am an earth angel. And before we get into it, I really want to stress to you that you can believe whatever you want to believe. I'm not in any way pushing my beliefs onto you. In fact, I would love it if you just believe whatever feels right to you. We all have a right to believe whatever feels good to us, okay, and what feels true to us. So in no way do you have to believe anything I tell you, and take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I'm simply going to tell a story of what transpired as I know it, as I remember it, and as it's been explained to me by my angels. And I'm going to start off by saying, yes, I'm an earth angel, which means I'm part angel and part human ego. We're not all earth angels. We can be different parts of many things, and this is not the video for that. But I've been around a long time. I've been, my soul, I guess you'd say, has been around since the beginning of time, as we know it. So I was there during this war. Hold on, I'm gonna take some water. So let's dive in. So God, and I'm gonna use God instead of any other deity or universe or whatever. So, you know, you can change that and take it however you want, or don't take it, it doesn't matter. But I'm gonna be using like terms like God and all that. So when God first created angels, not earth angels, angels, which are a divine extension of God. They are pure divine love. And we teach more of that in my Knowing Angels Academy. Those are just, they're pure, they're literally extensions of God. But God decided she wanted to experience something different through a different way. So he invented earth angels, and he invented an earth, not this earth, but an earth before this earth, where earth angels would live. The difference between earth angels today and earth angels then is we were born knowing our power, meaning we knew how to manifest and create whatever we desire. Whereas today we're born not knowing that, we're born learning it. When you get teachers like me and many others, now we're teaching how to create and manifest a beautiful life. Back then we just knew, we already knew. So we were having, you know, frolicking around on this earth, all of us angels, but there was a particular angel, you probably guess whose name is Lucifer, who really got into his ego, and he really, you know, said, well, I get the power of creation. I am God. I can control everything. I can create worlds. I can destroy worlds. I'm God. But he wanted to control us, all of us. You know, we're like, no, that's silly. I don't want to be controlled. You know, like he wanted to be in charge. He wanted to take over God. He said he was, you know, he wanted you to believe in him rather than God, because he's also a creator. And he brainwashed and convinced a whole bunch of earth angels to follow him. And so Lucifer was an earth angel. Lucifer was not a pure angel. He was an earth angel. So therefore he has ego, right? So we got into a big fight. We got into a big fight because he wanted to control, and he had built a small army, right, of other earth angels that were like, yeah, he's God. You know, I haven't seen this other God, you know, what is he doing, you know? So we got into a huge war, lots of fighting, lots of terror, and the entire Earth was destroyed. So think about any sci-fi movie where you see the Earth implode or a planet. That's what happened, because we were all very powerful. Lucifer, realizing he's not winning, even though in his head he's like, I'm still the god and I win all the time, he kind of created, ripped a veil, if you will, created his own dimension, hell, as we label it, and him and his flock are like, you know, yeah, we're still in charge and we're gonna go over here and do our thing. So in that point, God was like, okay, that didn't really work. So he built the earth as we know it now, and he created us not knowing our power, and having to experience growing into it. And again, why God did that is another story for another day. But nowadays, you can see it. Lucifer still thinks he's God. He still thinks he's more powerful than the God we worship. He tries to convince us that God doesn't exist, and that there's nothing other than him. And he does his control thing by, you know, having his little minions speak in our ear, whisper in our ear, and try to convince us of very negative things, bad things, hurting people. They possess people to hurt people, and a lot of people believe. And you know, he preys on our ego. He preys on our negative moments and our hard times. And yeah, he really does. And he any bad entity, he's working with them. But here's the thing, and I know some of you are kind of be like, oh my God, I don't want that to happen to me. Of course you don't. Here's the thing. We're going to go back to angels, not earth angels. Angels are pure, divine love. They're an extension of God. So God, realizing what Lucifer's doing, sent angels, and we got like 5 or 6 each. I mean, you can call like 1,000 angels if you want. But he gave us each of these angels assigned to us throughout our life to help guide us, to help get rid of that evil, which doesn't always work. It's kind of on us and our free will. But if you're feeling these horrible feelings and these dark thoughts, you can call on your actual angels. You can call for Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael and Archangel Gabriel and Uriel and any of them, and ask for help. You can call on them to say, hey, there's something bad trying to convince me of something. Please remove it from my area. Please remove it from me. Please get rid of it. And they will. A lot of people don't realize that angels are very powerful. Extensions of God. They're powerful, right? They have power of God has given them this ability. Like, yes, please use my power to help people. So, but you gotta let them in. It's free will, man. If you really like into the bad stuff and you know, satanic rituals or whatever, you're like, hell, Satan, I'm gonna sacrifice a virgin. You know, yeah, they can't get through that, right? There's also a lot of souls that, because of religion, not pooping on religion. Again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I'm not religious, by the way, just FYI, I'm very spiritual. I believe in God, but not so much religion. It's another story. But what you have to remember is a lot of religious people think that if they sinned and they weren't forgiven for their sins, they're going straight to hell. Okay, even guys who do bad things have that fear in them. Like, I've met a few ghosts that are like, I can't, you know, I say go into the light. They're like, I can't, I'll go to hell. You know, it's not gonna, no. And they end up being part of the army. Okay, he can easily dupe them into, well, I can make you powerful. You know, I can make you a powerful demon, or I call them baddies, because I think demon is, people get scared of that word. We put so much behind that word. So I like baddies, kind of takes it down a notch. And I think they hate that I call them that. But part of my point is never be afraid. Never be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of. They can't touch you when you are calling upon your angels. Usually when I do a video like this, or do a live talking about this stuff, talking about Satan and all that, and hell, and I usually get psychically attacked by the big guy himself. And, you know, I used to know him. But I call on Archangel Michael, I call on the Archangels. Hey, you know, it's nothing to me now. It used to be like, oh my God, but now it's like, okay, you know, Archangel Michael, please clear this out, clear it out, and let's clear this, cleanse the space. And they do, and it's fine. And you know, I have every right to tell my story. So there's nothing to be afraid of when you call upon your angels, and that goes for haunted houses too. I know people that do paranormal research for a living, and they try to cleanse homes, and I always say, call on Archangel Michael, call on the angels. They will literally clear it out. Like, if you have the faith, if you believe they will. If you're like, yeah, Archangel Michael, please get this entity out of my house, and then you're like, yeah, it's not going to work. I'll call him, but then he's going to be like, oh, why do you want me if you don't believe I can do this? That's silly. But he'll try. But, you know, you have to believe too. I mean, come on, right? Why call on somebody you don't believe they can do it? You know, I mean, are you going to call a plumber when your toilet's backed up and then be like, this guy's not going to be able to get it? And then he, you know, where he can overhear you and be like, you know what? I don't think I can do it. Bye-bye. Or he'll do it and charge you double. So don't worry, angels don't charge. They're free. Real quickly, I feel they're pushing me to tell you something about religion and my religious beliefs. So I'm going to go into that real quick, and then that's that. I grew up Baptist. We'd go to church every Sunday. I was in Sunday school. I've studied the Bible. You know, I've been in the choir. I've been, you know, done all the things. And I remember when I was a little girl, my mom we'd lay in bed, and she would lay beside me, and we would just have conversations about God and Jesus and all that. And I would ask questions. I don't remember what I was, you know, as little, and she would answer them about, you know, just whatever. And I remember specifically one time we were talking about hell, and I said, I don't know why God would do that to us. And she said, well, you know, he won't, because of Jesus, because you know, you're forgiven for your sins. He died for us, and you won't go to a fiery pit in hell. But the fiery pit in hell thing, it didn't sit well with me. That whole idea that God would instill fear in us, that God, you know, what did they say? Our God is a jealous God, right? It's not. The God I know, and again, this is me, this is just my beliefs, you know, you don't have to believe anything I say, but the God I know is pure love, like pure love. Even love, he loves Satan, he loves all those demons, he loves them, like they can't see it, they're blinded by the ego, they will refuse it, but he still loves them. He's pure love, that's it, period. So he wouldn't punish us. We punish us. Our ego punishes us. God doesn't punish us. And I made a decision that day, I think I was like 7, that I was going to have my own relationship with God in my heart. I could feel it. And I thought, I'm not going to tell anybody, because they're going to be like, no, you have to do things this way. You know, the religious way, whatever. And I was like, I'm going to do things my way. I'm going to believe what I believe about God, and we're going to have our own relationship. And since that day, we have. It's been, you know, I've had this beautiful personal relationship with God. And that's my story with my, you know, religion, spirituality, of how, you know, how I operate. I work with God. I work with angels and archangels, and I work with other entities, which is another story for another day. So if you want to hear more about this, if you want to learn how to connect with your angels on a very deep level and be able to talk to them and get your story, your origin story, there's a link below where you'll be able to find my Knowing Angels Academy or the Connecting with Angels course. The Knowing Angels Academy is a very deep course going into some deep meditations and really guiding you through a lot of other spirit guides as well. And the Connecting with Angels is like the short version, like, okay, you know, if you just want to try and talk to them without all the background and all the info, you can do it that way. I created because we're all different. So link is in the description. I love you. I hope some of this resonated with you, and if it didn't, which is fine, I at least hope you found it entertaining or interesting in some way. Please feel free to subscribe, like, share, comment, and I love you very much.